This is the BODAR Blast by the USS Decatur, with your host, Lieutenant Junior Grade Daniel Ehrlich. All views expressed on this show are not those of the United States Navy and made by the individuals who are on the show. All music used is used with the permission of the songwriter or is royalty-free. This is a feature production of the USS Decatur and is made free to use and free for all the families and supporters of the USS Decatur DDG 73. Old and daring.
And welcome to the BODAR Blast. I'm Lieutenant Junior Grade Daniel Ehrlich. Thank you for joining me and the rest of our crew for another episode of the BODAR Blast. And it is a fun-filled episode. We've got a great interview for you today, but getting down to the nitty-gritty of the news so far on Decatur before we get to today's interview. Shorter show today, just getting ready for the next episode where we got a lot coming for you. We got a great interview for the next episode, but a little bit of a shorter show today with just the news and the interview, no segments for this one. So look forward to our next episode. We're going to have a lot in that one, and we had a long episode last time. But getting right to the news, first of all, we had announcements from our commanding officer about personnel that made rank. So advancement and results came out about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. We did the pinning ceremony. We had a bunch of people or sailors make first class, second class, and third class across the command. I would name everybody, but that's going to take like a minute. And I really do want to just say to the entire group of people that advanced, it's a great achievement, not only passing the test, but also being able to get the scores possible, get what you need possible, get the evals possible. I know everybody back at home, you're all very, very happy and just excited for your sailors for advancing. It's a tense time before advancement results come out. A lot of sailors are concerned about results. There's obviously a little bit of apprehension about what's going to come out, when they're going to find out, and I think a lot of people are happy with the results. It's really great to see, especially as a junior officer that's been here for a little while. A lot of sailors that I'd say in a way grown up with on this ship. I started out as an ensign on this ship a couple of years ago, and a lot of junior sailors that I started out on this ship with, or when they came on board within the first couple of months of me being here, seeing them put on second class, or in some cases even first class, is really rewarding, really great to see. It's so exciting to see people that you've worked with for 2 years and care about a lot. We work very closely as a crew, continue to make achievements in their career and continue to advance in their career. So it's a really big achievement to make rank. So to everybody that did and got those announcements, congratulations. The entire list will be posted on our social media, but for now, great results for everybody that got advancement. And to those that didn't get advancement, they have opportunities every 6 months to pick up rank. So sometimes you miss it by a few points, sometimes the scores just don't go your way, and that happens in life and in career. And the best thing that a lot of the sailors on here, every single daring raider does, is they put their heads down and they keep working, and that's what makes us so different from any other ship on the waterfront, is we just keep doing what we're doing, and that's why we are such a successful ship, such a successful command, and it's a lot because of the people at this command. But also, we've had a very busy, jam-packed training schedule over the last few weeks. So we've done a lot of drills over the last few weeks, really been pushing hard on those general quarters drills, been practicing general quarters. So for those of you at home, on a ship this size, general quarters is our most heightened state of readiness. It's what we call, we get into battle dress and all of that, and we get to, everybody mans a station. We're ready for battle in that case, and we have to set general quarters within 7 minutes. That's the required time slot to set it. That's kind of the goal that we set as a command, 7 minutes. And we've gotten very close lately, hit 9 minutes the other day. And everybody really puts the work in to try and make that happen. And it's from personal experience, having stood watch on the bridge and having to run all the way back aft to have steering, it is not easy to not only man every single watch station on the ship, over 200 watch stations on the ship, and set Zebra within 7 minutes, so a very heightened state of compartmentalization readiness on the ship. It not only is that challenging, but it's also challenging to get it within a 7-minute time limit. Imagine 7 minutes to not only get on station, but then you have to take these cards, and there's valves and doors and hatches that you have to close in order to meet that time requirement. And so 9 minutes is pretty damn impressive from this crew, and we've gotten closer and closer with each try. And I know we'll get there. I know we'll get there. So it just takes a lot of time to do. But not only have we done that, we've done a lot of drills on the tactical side of things. Can't really talk much about that. But we've also done drills as far as damage control goes. So our damage control training team has run drills for aircraft crash. So if there's a crash on the flight deck, we have host teams ready to go on the flight deck that are ready to fight the fire, pull out survivors from the helo crash. We call them hot suit men. They wear these suits that the best way to explain them is they're like aluminum foil suits that keep you basically safe from the heat. And we have 2 of them, DC-2 Bowers, DC-2 Garrido, and they that keeps them safe in pulling out personnel from the downed helo if they land on our flight deck. We've had crash and salvage. We've had rescue and assistance. So if we need to go help another ship that's having an issue at sea, whether it be a fire, flooding, or whatever, we send a boat team over with damage control personnel, and we go help that ship. We've done a bunch of other training exercises over on the medical side of things. Our medical team, including HM2 Grabbit, who has been on the show before, is running a lot of medical drills. They've also been running a lot of training that has also been posted on our social media quite a bit, called Tactical Combat Casualty Care, or TCCC. It's a more recent requirement. The Marines kind of do a lot of that side of things, and they're starting to bring that over into the Navy side of things with being able to do combat tourniquets and being able to stop minor wounds or even puncture wounds, sucking wounds, the gross stuff, the stuff that you really don't want to think about, but could happen in the workplace, could happen if we have to go into general quarters. And if you want to get those kind of more advanced damage control qualifications on board Decatur, you have to be able to go through that TCCC course. So I've been through it, a lot of other people have been going through it, and it teaches you how to basically conduct basic first aid in the absence of a quarterman if there is a major crisis, or if we're in battle conditions, or so on. The other thing is we've had a lot of gunshoots recently, so our gunners have been, and weapons department have been staying very busy, and it's going to continue on as we go through the summer, because once we get back from deployment, there's going to be a lot of requalification shoots as far as small arms training on M9 pistol and on M4 rifle. But mainly, we've been doing a lot of small arms shoots for our personnel that have not shot on Decatur before or haven't shot in a long time. So M9 service pistol, and then your M4 service rifle. Those are your basic weapons that you stand watch with in port. You'll see it on board any ship really in the Navy that has personnel standing topside watches. Almost over 200 people on the ship are qualified on small arms, and our gunners do a great job at qualifying them and training people to not only shoot well, because I mean that's part of the process, but one of the more dangerous parts of holding a firearm is knowing how to hold it safely, not being afraid of it, and knowing the safety rules for it. So we go over treat, never, keep. Treat every weapon as if it were loaded. Never point your weapon at something you don't intend to shoot. Keep your finger straight and off the trigger until you intend to fire, and keep your weapon unsafe until you intend to fire. And the fifth unofficial one is know your target and what lies beyond. But those weapon safety rules are very important. You don't go to any Navy or even DoD range in the military without knowing those weapon safety rules, and they're very important to handling a firearm properly. A lot of the incidents that you see both in military and civilian life, as far as firearms mishaps go, is because people were not following those weapon safety rules. And so those weapon safety rules are really important. Not being afraid of the weapon is really important. You need to know how to control the weapon. You can't let the weapon control you. You have to control that weapon. So our gunners do a really good job training a lot of newer personnel that may not have handled a gun before on handling a gun. And they have a lot of experience in that. So shout out to all of our gunners for doing that. As well as we've done some large caliber shoots recently too. So we fired our 5-inch main battery recently, so the big boom. And I think everybody on this ship can say, and if people eventually do come riding on this ship that are not on this ship at sea, and you get to feel the 5-inch, it makes the entire ship shake. It is definitely the calling card of the Navy destroyer, being able to fire 5-inch. In the absence of firing a missile, which is fun too, firing 5-inch is definitely an awesome experience to see in person, because you get to see the main battery of the ship, and probably really the largest battery that the United States Navy has left in its arsenal on board naval ships, the 5-inch 54 caliber that we have on board Decatur. And I think I've said this fun fact before, but it's also the most fired 5-inch in the Navy. So of any ship in the United States Navy, we have the 5-inch that has fired the most rounds downrange. So we fired a few more rounds downrange recently, as well as my personal favorite weapon system, because I own it. So shout out to all my CWIS techs out there. But we fired our Mount 2.2 close-in weapon system. A lot higher rate of fire on that one. Personally, I think it sounds like a lawnmower when it fires, but it's a really cool weapon to see fire, because it is a close-in weapon system, but fires a lot of lead downrange. So it's a really cool weapon. It's like a shield of lead that we put up. And so it's a really cool weapon system. A little finicky on the maintenance side of things, but that's why we have the best techs in the fleet to take care of that. And then we also fired our Mark 38 weapons amidships too, so our Mount 251 and 252 starboard and port side weapons. So you'll see those rounds come out, tracer rounds at night, but we didn't do those. Personally, my favorite weapon system to see fire is the Mark 38 with tracer rounds, because it looks like a red arc at night. It just looks really awesome to see at night, just seeing that red arc through the water. But we've shot Mark 38s, and they have a coaxial machine gun on them, so they fired that a little bit too. So gunners got to play a little bit, they got to have some fun, and really test their weapon systems out. We haven't really had much of a chance on this deployment to be able to fire the weapon systems, so being able to fire them has been a treat, some would say. So last thing on the news is a lot of our committees and our MWR have been very busy on this deployment, and they have been very, very busy lately, so we've been posting a lot about their events recently. You saw our Cinco de Mayo post in May about the cake that was made, and thank you to our CSs, our culinary specialists, for making excellent cakes. I love the buttercream icing. Please don't get rid of the buttercream icing. That makes my day. Whenever I hear there's cake on the mess decks, though. We had a Pride Month. We had a Pride Month event on the mess decks recently. Photos to come on our social media. So check out our social media: Facebook, Instagram, at USS Decatur, or on Instagram at USS_Decatur, and check out the photos from that, which will be going up soon. I didn't get any cake. I'm mad about that. I showed up 20 minutes after they started serving cake, and it was all gone. All you fiends that got cake before me, watch out. But next time I'll get some cake. We've also had some events as far as bingo events, movie watching events for our Morale, Welfare and Recreation, or MWR committee. Our Multicultural Committee has had a lot of events, including Cinco de Mayo. They recently had the Pride Month event, and they're also doing a Juneteenth event later this month to celebrate Juneteenth. So a major holiday now, and a very important holiday that we observe on board. So thank you to all those committees for continuing to make it fun, as well as our petty officer and chief petty officer in our wardroom organizations for hosting Steel Beach picnics. So we had our recent Memorial Day hot dog eating contest, which was a little early for the Nathan's hot dog eating contest, which I talked about on our last episode of the podcast. But we also have a lot of really awesome Steel Beach picnics that are hosted by our individual petty officer, chief petty officer, and wardroom officers that cooking burgers, flipping burgers, and making sausages on the flight deck, having a good time, just forgetting a little bit about work for a little bit, having a nice little cookout, especially since it's summertime. But with that all being said, that's a little wrap up on the news on board USS Decatur. We've got a really interesting interview this podcast episode. I tried having one person on, but she wanted to bring along a plus one because they're a package deal. So I've got QM2 Juarez, Quartermaster Second Class, Lesley Juarez, and she is joined by Boatswain's Mate Third Class, Alice Diep. They stand watch together. They've become very fast friends on Decatur, and they insisted that they do the interview together. So we did a little duo interview, so enjoy listening to QM2 Juarez and BM3 Diep, and I'll see you on the other side. And we're going to welcome on BM3 Alice Diep, QM2 Lesley Juarez. Thank you for joining us on the BODAR Blast podcast for this duo interview. QM2, when I asked her to come on for the podcast, wanted to bring BM3 Diep along, so I guess they're a package deal. So starting there, what makes you guys a package deal? How do you guys become friends on the show?
We just started talking like early because we live in the same aisle, so we just started clicking right away. We also had watch together, so watch, whenever you're bored on watch, you just start talking to people that you never thought you'd talk to. So you just start forming like a connection with everybody on watch in a sense.
Yeah. So do you guys like hang out during port visits, or like hang out when we get back to like home port and stuff like that around town?
No, I think our connection started when we started going on deployment.
Yeah, so it's become like a professional thing, and like you guys have become friends because of that.
Yeah.
That's the cool part about it. I think we have a really good watch team. I'm on your watch team too. We have kind of a wild watch team. We still abide by professional practices. So don't hem us up for that, Big Navy. But we do have a really good watch team. What do you think every person on the watch team brings to the watch?
I think everybody has like a different personality, which is pretty fun because, you know, everybody has a different outlook on life. So whenever we start asking questions, you know, in the middle of the night when it's like 1 or 2 in the morning, we just start asking those weird questions, and everybody has different answers. And it's nice to see like other people's perspective.
Yeah, we're all from different places. And what do you think you bring to the watch, man?
What do I bring to
Yeah.
the watch? I think I'm pretty funny. Like, my laugh is so
Yeah, everybody makes fun of it.
ugly that everybody laughs at it. So.
Yeah, we're going to try and get BM3 to laugh during this podcast so you can hear it. Because I make fun of it during the watch because she goes, but we all make fun of her. But, I mean, everybody makes fun of me. I was dancing during watch today. You guys were doing some prez work outside the pilot house today. And I think it's just those moments that you get to have fun. You got a really bad sunburn, I guess, today or something like that.
I did.
You did?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a farmer's tan, and I was like, you know what? Might as well just get the whole arm.
You gotta even it out?
Yeah.
Sunscreen. You're gonna get like skin cancer or something.
She did have sunscreen on, that's the problem. We had
You had sunscreen. I didn't.
Oh, you didn't put on the sunscreen? Oh.
So yeah.
I thought she did. No.
So what's your song selection for the pilot house today while you guys were doing deck prez or bulkhead prez up there? Why did you choose what you chose? Because we were kind of all vibing to it up there.
I just went on my playlist and I played today's hits, or I know actually it was like 2010 essential hits, and I was like, we're all around the same age, you know, everybody's gonna be like, okay, I like the song.
Yeah, Yeah, we can all vibe to it. Yeah, I think about the important part of like our watch team, especially at night. Like we all have like the midnight to 3 watch is like keeping each other, engaged and standing proper watch by just talking to each other. What's some of the funniest questions you've kind of received on watch that you can talk about on the podcast?
Funniest.
'Cause I saw you guys. So yeah, I see your faces.
Honestly, it's so late at night that I don't remember like the questions in itself. I just know that I was like, yeah, that was funny. I don't know exactly what happened, but it was funny. I don't remember most of the questions. It's BM3 Stewart is asking really wild questions out there.
He always asks some really crazy questions. We have a really good watch team. I like to try and keep it light. We have a good team up there. For you, BM3, you are our bosun mate of the watch up on that watch team for a while, and you ran I would say a pretty tight ship. You kept the guys in line. As a woman in deck department, how do you kind of like earn that respect from the team and kind of keep them in line?
I don't really know. I just like to be myself, and usually like I have my own opinion. I have my own way of thinking. So whenever like they put something out, I would always put something in. And sometimes when they like ask for my opinion, I always give them the truth. I think it's just me being honest is how I not really earn, but like how I gain their respect. And it's always me like respecting them, and then I receive their respect back.
Yeah. What's the family like down there, or down there in like deck division? Because you guys are pretty much like a family anyway.
So our deck division is pretty tight. When it comes to work, we work, and I think that's why our division is like the best deck division, I believe, because we always come together and at least finish the work, and that's when everybody gets to go off or get home in time. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So, kind of getting down to like the why'd you join the Navy kind of thing, because I think that's like the question that comes up on watch first. That's like literally the first question that somebody asks you, whether you're standing to watch with somebody or like new officer to deck and board and stuff like that. So why did you join the Navy? What made you want to join the Navy? Either one of you can start.
So I joined the Navy because I wanted to get out of my hometown. I was tired of the same old routine, and I thought that joining the military, or the Navy in general, would get me out of my hometown, get me out of my comfort space, and which it did. I'm actually grateful for the Navy in a sense. I met my wife in the Navy, and now I have 2 cats. I have my own car, I have my own apartment. So overall, I think the Navy has given me more ups and downs. So it's pretty fine.
Yeah, and you recently made 2nd class, so congratulations to you via the MAP program. And BM3, why'd you join the Navy exactly?
I kind of wanted to leave the home that I was staying at, and I also wanted to try different things. I was in ROTC for a while, so I knew a little bit about the Navy, and when I got here, it wasn't what I expected, but it did teach me how to grow up a little faster.
Yeah, so you were in ROTC like at a college or at a
Oh no, in high school.
In high school? So what was that like, getting kind of that experience before even joining the Navy? Did it kind of prepare you for that?
It was hard, because like the program that I was in also had like many boot camps, and it was mentally like training you to be tough, and we're all kids in high school, so like I guess with the adults that were in charge of that program were trying to show us discipline. Not a lot of kids have discipline, at least at where I was at. So it was kind of hard at first, but it got easier as the years went by in high school.
Yeah, so both of you guys, did you pick your rates out of boot camp, or did you kind of
go on and did you
Maps.
pick that at Maps?
Yeah,
Okay.
so at Maps, funny story, I enlisted into the Navy. I didn't know what anything was. Like, I was just like, I'm going to join the military. The Navy sounds pretty cool. So I went to Maps, didn't know anything, like, whatsoever. My cousin, he's in the Marines, he was like, don't be an engineer and don't be a cook. It's like, those are the two, like, most demanding jobs. Like, they're thankless jobs. So I was like, okay. So not an engineer and not a cook. Got it. So I went to Maps. They did the whole process. They were like, okay, we have a couple rates for you to choose from. We have CS. I don't remember what engineering rate it was. BM and QM. And the MEPS person was like, I don't recommend any of these besides QM. There's a big book that you gotta learn, and that's it. That's your job. And then I was like, so what's a BM? And he was like, do you like getting your hands dirty? I was like, I do not. He's like, then I wouldn't recommend it. So I was like, I'll take the QM. So took the QM, and now here I am.
Yeah, and you decided to get your hands dirty. So how did you choose BM?
So my recruiter was a BM2. The guy that I sat with to pick my rate at MEPS was also a BM2. So he gave me the list. I think it was all the packs, like the aviation packs, seaman pack, fireman pack, and then BM. I don't remember what else, but I asked him, like, what is BM like? Because my recruiter was a BM, and he was like, oh, you do all this like search and rescue stuff, and like you do get your hands dirty, but it's like worth it at the end. And I was like, oh, that sounds interesting, and also pick BM.
Yeah. So what is it? I mean, we've talked to BMs before, but what are kind of your daily responsibilities? Like, what do you do as a QM, as a BM? Like, what are kind of your day-to-day things that you do? Watches that you have to stand, qualifications you have to get.
Well, as a QM, there's only one watch that we stand, which is Quartermaster of the watch. We basically take care of the ship's deck logs, so write down any information that affects the ship's capabilities. Position log, obviously we write down the position every so often, and we keep the weather log. It's pretty much the only watch we stand underway. But day-to-day basis, we really don't do much. All we do is basically either do maintenance, preservation, admin work, which is like make the nav briefs, make sure that all the charts are up to date. We have flag inventory, just make sure we actually have all the flags we need. It's not a tough life as a QM.
Yeah, you guys do like, and the captain said it last week. Like, a ship is kind of, it's known because of like the flag work that you guys do.
Oh yeah, the $7,000 flag.
The $7,000 flag, the big bold and daring flag that was featured in Task and Purpose at one point, and is constantly on our social media that everybody at home can see. So, what do you do? Because we talked to BM1 Jimenez before, and he talked about like the first class aspect of it. But what's it like down on the deck plates? You guys are like the definition of grit. Like, what do you guys do as BMs, especially like junior BMs every day?
So we do a lot of preservation, and we do a lot of maintenance. I only do preservation because that's all I know. Maintenance, I'm still learning, And there's evolutions too. Like, there's some days like we have flight quarters or unrev, conrev, and sea and anchor and all that stuff. The watches, we stand beam out, which is supposed to be on the watch, lookout, and helm. And helm is like where you drive the ship, obviously, and that's basically like all we do.
Yeah. So both of you guys have jobs too that like are really topside based jobs. You're up on the bridge all the time. You're always topside. You guys do tons of evolutions, both of you. What is kind of that one moment where you looked around and you're like, damn, this is it. I'm here. This is pretty damn cool.
I would say the first time we left San Diego, when we had that unrep, we were, actually it wasn't our first unrep. It was like when we were by Guam and it was super hot, and I was like, damn, this is like nothing like San Diego, like SoCal, Alberia. This is nothing like that. It gets hot, super hot. I was all muggy and sweaty, and I was like, okay, I want to go home.
Yeah. What about you, BM3?
I think mine was when I had my first flight quarters as a LSCUI, and like the helo is coming at you, so it's like kind of scary, like big thing, and I'm tiny, I can fly away, so it was kind of like this is kind of scary, like I'm here now.
So I feel bad because recently we just did a little piece about you. Both MC2 Negron and I did a piece about you in our social media about you.
Yeah.
And we misappropriated a sextant as a statometer, and QMC Pepple, who used to be QM1 Pepple on board. Miss you, Pep. You're the best. But yeah, he's the best. He called us out on our social media about it, so thanks for calling us out about it. And I was reminded multiple times about it. So just for the audience, and for me, because we have a wonderful story, you and me, about how I came to know about a sextant. But what's the difference between a statometer or a sextant?
So,
what do they do? And how many mirrors does a sextant have?
For a statometer is basically for it to give you range. It looks exactly as a sextant, except the sextant has shades. So it has about 8 shades that whenever you're trying to like shoot the sun, you could bring down the brightness so it won't blind you. A statometer doesn't have that. A statometer is just a mirror, like where you put your like eye, a mirror, and then it has another mirror, because you're supposed to bring down like the top of the ship to the horizon, and it should match, and it'll give you the height of, actually the range of the ship that you're shooting, or the object. Sextant has, like I said, those shades, and it gives you, I forgot what the numbers down there are called, but yeah, so the difference is basically the shades. Like, if it didn't have the shades, then it'd look exactly the same.
You can tell the world the story about me and the sextant, and tell them how many mirrors there are on a sextant, so I can be embarrassed to the audience once again by an interviewee's story.
So we were doing a spot check, and Mr. Ehrlich thought he'd be funny and asked me, if it's called the sextant, why don't we have 6 of them attached together? And I was like, oh no sir, it's called a sextant because it has 6 mirrors. The sextant does not have 6 mirrors. It doesn't have, like, it has a mirror, just one. But I pointed to the shades and I told him that those were mirrors. And he was like, oh, okay. So he goes up to the navigator and he's like, Nav, I know why it's called a sextant. And he's like, because it has 6 mirrors. And then Nav just looked at him with so much disappointment. And I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah, I think you still think that's hilarious, and that was a year ago. So, BM3, you bring also to the watch various Vietnamese phrases that you teach all of us. What is your What is your favorite safe for work phrase that you teach us on watch?
You got it.
It's terrible. I say "dry eye" a lot, which means like, oh my god. So like usually when I don't know if you remember that one night where McCary scared me. Seaman McCary scared me, and I just ran the night orders. I came back up. I didn't think anything of it, and he scares me. I'm like, "Dry eye." And then I said a few other things that I can't really say, but he was like looking at me. He was like, "What did you say?" And I'm like, "I said, oh my god." And you scared me.
What's that other word you say? Big brother?
Oppa.
Oppa.
Oh, so that's like Korean. That's not my language.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But it means older brother.
Yeah, we have a lot of like really good mix of cultures, especially on our bridge team. No, I will never forget that scream. I thought somebody had gotten stabbed on the bridge.
Sir, he literally was in the corner. And I did
It's
not
so
see
dark
him.
up on the bridge too.
It is.
Like
Yeah.
you can't see anybody.
I didn't see him at all.
It's probably like a scary movie, like
Yes.
like almost as bad as The Conjuring, because I hate The Conjuring. I
That's
couldn't
a really
sleep.
good
I
movie.
couldn't sleep. It's a terrible movie. I
It
couldn't
was a
sleep.
good movie.
I couldn't sleep for 3 days afterward without the lights off. So you know, it's,
After watching The Conjuring?
yeah, it's terrifying.
Oh,
It's
that's
terrifying. But we've been on deployment for like 7 months, guys. And you talked about your wife and cats and your family. What's it like? What's the toughest thing about being away from home for 7 months for you guys?
I feel that the toughest part is yet to come. We've adjusted our lives to the ship, and you know we see the same people every day. You know we had kind of set a routine, even though our routines change. It's like the same routine, like the same baseline routine. So I feel like the hardest part is when we go back home, and with it, we don't have a routine anymore. It's trying to build that routine that you had before you left. So that's what I feel would be the hardest part. I don't think we've managed. Well, I don't think we've got into that point where we're just like, yeah, this is the hardest part. I think the hardest part is towards the end.
What about you, Ben?
I can agree. Like, whenever we pull into ports, we're in a different place, we're in a different area, but I feel so drained from having the same schedule, and then we're pulling into a port, and it's not the same because we're not stuck on the ship. And we pull into a port, and we just stay at our hotel, we sleep, eat, sleep more, it's like catching up to whatever we missed on the ship.
Yeah, and I think like it's gonna be so hard to get back to San Diego and kind of adjust because you're not used to that. Every port that we visited, I felt like, all right, like, as we went along, I was like, yeah, I'm kind of missing like having a place that is my place,
Right.
and San Diego's kind of our place. And I know we're home port shifting, but like it feels like we're just kind of wanderers for like the last 7 months. And I agree with you. It's gonna be hard to adjust back because like seeing my friends for the first time in 7 months, seeing my family, being able to like get off the ship consistently, it's gonna be tough.
Yeah.
But getting back to San Diego, what's the first thing you want to do in San Diego, and what's the first thing you're gonna eat when you get back to San Diego? We've talked about this on Watch before, but I want the people to know.
So I think the first thing I'm gonna go eat is probably some tacos from Taco del Gordo, and probably go pick up some Texas Roadhouse, the bread. That's amazing.
You almost let one slip. You almost let one slip. What about you being food?
I think the first thing I'm going to eat is Vietnamese food, and I'm going to eat bom reel, which is like a crab noodle soup, which is really good. Like, it's like a special taste because it has like shrimp paste in it, and not a lot of people like that stinky, like foreign smell of shrimp paste. But I think that's what I'm gonna do, and then see my family or my friends actually.
Yeah.
Wait, what was the other question?
Like, what is the first thing that you're gonna do when you get back to?
After the change of command, I'm driving straight to Texas.
Straight to Texas, go see your family. See first bomb. Yep, first bomb period. What are you doing?
I'm gonna go up to the Bay Area with my significant other, and then go to Washington to settle down his apartment.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice. And you know, I feel like I mean I'm gonna be seeing my family, and there's just so much to do. That's the thing. Like I want to see Padres games and stuff like that. Yeah, Padres games. Miss
Yeah.
those. Yes, it is. It is summer. What? So we're in June already. What's it like? Does it hit you sometimes too that it's been like it's already we're halfway through 2023 and stuff like that? Does it hit you sometimes like the passage of time? Could like days go slower on the ship and stuff like that? Is it,
I feel like this deployment has gone by like really quick. We left in December. We're getting back middle of the year, and it's just like I don't know what to expect, to be honest. Like I just know that as soon as I get there, I'm just gonna try to adjust myself as best as I can. It's gonna be hot though.
it is, but it's beach fun.
Yeah.
What about you?
Some days could be slow for me. Like when I stay on watch, I keep looking at the time. Maybe that makes the time goes by slower. But there's some days where we would finish our work and there would be nothing else to do, and I wouldn't know what to do after that. I would either sleep or eat a snack, watch my shows, just to make the time go by faster. And
Got it. All right. Couple more. Oh no! Would you?
Oh, I just said that's not what he asked.
Oh my goodness! We're gonna
Wait,
keep
what
the.
did you
We're gonna
ask
keep
him?
the. We're gonna keep the mic rolling on that one. That's
Yeah.
bad radio.
I forgot what you kind of asked.
So, like, do you like feel the passage of time? Like, does it go by fast or slow when we're at sea? Like for
That
you?
was the question he asked, bro. I answered. It
Okay.
goes half and half.
Half and half.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, threatening physical violence. So, for you, Koom, too, you talked about your wife. We have a really like vibrant, from what I've noticed over the last couple of years on board, a really vibrant LGBT community on board the ship. What does it mean to you that it's kind of really gotten a lot more open for you to kind of be able to talk about that stuff and like be able to have a family and be able to live a life like that in the Navy?
For me, honestly, I wouldn't know, in the sense where I've never had that opportunity like declined to me. Like I haven't been through those troubles that a lot of people have been. I'm grateful for everything that's been done for me to get to the point where I can tell the Navy like, hey, I'm married to a woman, and they will validate it. You know, I haven't been through those hard times like other people have, but I'm grateful for it. But I just don't know the struggle, you know?
Yeah. I think we have just a really accepting show.
Yeah.
Yeah. I first got here and I was like, wow, this is a very large LGBT community, but like everybody is super cool with it. Everybody's like very welcoming about it. We once had an association for it too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So what does Pride Month mean to you then too?
Pride Month means parties and equal rights. You know, I've gone to maybe 2 parades, and it's just a whole lot of happiness in there, and I see why. You know, because I've seen videos like on TikTok, social media, about how much hatred that like LGBTQ community members get, and it's really bad. It's bad out there, you know. But whenever everybody just gets together and just celebrates like their happiness, it's just amazing.
Yeah. So, kind of the last thing we'll kind of wrap up on is, so everybody kind of has a catchphrase when they go around the ship, right? And like you say hi to somebody and they like I'm here or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys use your catchphrase on the ship or up on the bridge quite often. Oh hell no, shipmate.
Hell no, shipmate.
Oh, hell no.
What are some other catchphrases that you guys have come up with? Because you guys have a whole word bank full.
Appropriate ones?
Appropriate ones.
We would go yo to each other.
Yo!
Yo!
Oh, hell no, shipmate.
No.
I don't know. I think the most famous one at this moment is BM3 Alvy's catchphrase.
BM2 Alvarez.
Oh
yeah.
yes, he did pick up BM2 Alvarez. My bad, Alvy. Yeah, I'll have not shipmate.
Oh hell no, shipmate.
Oh, hell no, shipmate. And then, actually, last question. What does serving mean to you guys? I know that like hit that. I know, right? Hit that last note. Just super exciting, and then like hit it with the last one. But what does serving mean to you guys, really?
Serving to me means a lot. Just knowing that I can say that I've served the country, and I don't know. I was like, it just means a lot, like, because at the end of the day, we're like the 1%. Like, who else can be like, oh yeah, military, I was in it. Like, a lot of people can, but a lot of people that say like that, the military stuff, whatever, they've been like separated, or they just had one bad experience and they were just like, yeah, I'm done. But I just realized it for another 6 years. I love it here. It's a love-hate relationship. Like, you have good days and you have bad days, but most of the time, because of the people you meet, it makes it better.
Yeah, it's always the theme of like the people. The people keep people in. What about you?
For me, I guess serving is for me to set an example for my siblings. Like my brother now, he's at GMSN Deep.
Okay.
So if it wasn't for me, he wouldn't be in.
Okay.
But I'm just kidding. It's just like setting an example for my siblings. Like, you know, if I can do it, you can do it in a way. And I guess I want to be that example for other people as well. Where, like, the military is not that bad as it seems. Like, yeah, we're gonna have rough days. We're gonna have disgusting food. You know, it's the reality though. Like, we're not
Having 5-star meals.
having 5-star meals every single day, and we don't have the best rack space for certain people, but it's teaching you how to grow up faster. And I guess for me, it's just to set an example for my family.
It definitely is a lot of sacrifice. Well, thanks guys for coming on. QM2 Juarez, BM3 Deep. I'm very surprised that both of you made it through without cursing the entire time, because our watches can get pretty vibrant. But thank you guys for coming on. And thank you to QM2 Juarez and BM3 Deep for their fun interview with me. We have a really great relationship on our Bridge Watch team, and I've really enjoyed being on the same watch with them. It's the people on the watch that make it fun. And while you're standing a watch and you're doing your job and trying to maintain that professional watch, you do need to have people that keep the watch interesting, or else it just becomes also a slog, especially those late night watches. So we have a great watch team, and the two of them just make it even more colorful of a watch team, as you've seen, or at least heard. So with that, we've got a very interesting and fun podcast episode for our next episode next week, or in a couple of weeks from now, depending on release. Join me with my combat cameraman, who's going to be our next interviewee, MC2 Negron. You love him. You love his photos. He has been the man this deployment, the man, the myth, the legend. He will be my interviewee. Finally, he gets to be behind the microphone and behind the camera for our feature. He is the guy that makes our public affairs team and our public affairs duo work, and I'm very excited to introduce you to the man behind the camera. Other than that, I will talk to you next time, and stay bold and daring.